without vomiting. How's it going, man? Everything good?
Yeah, so far so good.
Live from the haunted nocturnal frequency radio studio and
studios.
Well, I figured maybe you had a nickname for yours, but
yeah, Dungeon of Hell.
Dungeon of Hell. Dungeon of Hell. You got to do that. Yeah, do that death metal. Dungeon of Hell.
Dungeon.
Yeah. Come on, you got to go deeper. Dungeon. I can't do it.
I can't. No,
I can't do it. Where's Gord? Dr. Demon.
Yeah, Gord could probably pull it off. Some heavy metal shit.
Yeah. So how's it going? Everything good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I started packing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're going to be on hiatus for a little bit.
I will. Yeah. 13th is when we move out of here, so
the 13th,
probably the weekend just before April? That. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I might, like I said, I might be able to sneak back in every now and again through either my tablet or my phone, but it won't be regular.
You're gonna have to get the new studio up and going whenever you have time.
Yeah, I mean the house we're moving into, the basement's not finished, so yeah. I'm still gonna set up my computer down there because for work as well. But so I'll be able to do a show, but you won't see lights or you won't
It'll be the dungeon.
It'll literally be the dungeon. Yeah,
Alex is being punished.
That's right.
For all the sins he's committed, he's in the dungeon of doom.
The story of my life, buddy.
Oh man, what the? It was cold today.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like this is just weird.
It's supposed to be like +7 tomorrow.
Yeah, and later on the week, we're talking about 14, 16, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And then after that, it drops down again. It's like a fucking roller coaster.
Whatever. It's March.
We get a little bit of snow, and then it rains and washes it all away.
Yeah. Well, at least it didn't snow a lot. I don't know if it snowed that much at your end, but
no,
here it was nothing.
Nothing. We had like a couple blanketed coverings. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah. Nothing major. Let's say hello to people in the YouTube chat anyways. And hey to everybody who's listening to us on the New Visions Radio Network. If I highly recommend you don't come over to YouTube. You don't want to see our ugly mugs.
No.
But I want to say hi to people in the YouTube chat because we do converse with them mostly, obviously, because I mean it's
visible.
It's visible.
Yeah.
Hey, Crazy John and the Watchman, Safari 360. How are you,
Adrian, Daniel, Sue?
It's always good to see you, Mars. Hey, Mars.
Yeah.
The Soft Sparkle Lady. And like I said, next year we are celebrating 20 years. Fucking 20 years, man.
20 years, man. Yeah.
What the hell, man? 20 fucking years. I
Time
mean,
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, hey, Thomas, how are you? Did you say Thomas? Daniel?
Thought I did, but if not, then hi, Thomas.
It's it's over the. Hey, Mark, how are you? Over the.
Daniel's asking 20 years on what? So 20 years since
Southern
Steve
Ontario
created,
Paranormal Society.
Paranormal group.
It's been 20 years since we've been investigating and researching the paranormal.
Steve actually started in his mom's womb, but officially it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I mean it's been very slow. Don't get me wrong. That since just before COVID.
Yeah.
I mean we have managed to keep a couple things going. A few things have had to have been kibosh because of timing and scheduling and stuff like that. But he was 6 back then. Wow, you're a young buck, eh? But hopefully, back in the saddle soon, especially in time for the 20th anniversary.
I got farts that are older than Daniel.
Hey, he's not lying, man. He's got a fucking jar collection.
Yeah.
He's got proof.
Can't see it. It's behind me. He's
got proof, man. He's got proof. This is what my fart smells like after pizza, after pasta. So he's a fart connoisseur.
Yeah, fart connoisseur. That's it.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Mars, 20 years. 20 years. There he goes, unleashing his fart stash.
Yeah.
So what's new?
Fuck all.
Well, hey, there's a step up from the nothing.
There you go.
Not much.
I thought I'd try it.
Fuck all.
Yeah, I'll try something different.
Fuck all.
Sounds like a fucking chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, we I guess we'll talk about shadow people, our experiences
or lack thereof.
Well, I've had experience with
You have, I haven't.
Yeah. But what we think about them, what we think they may be.
Yeah.
Or not. Tricksters?
Possibility?
It's a possibility. And other anomalies. And guys, smash that like button. If you haven't hit it, please. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and help us reach 1K. It's like this like where we're sitting now to the 1K mark is like agonizing.
It is.
It's agonizing.
Share the video. Share it.
We're almost there. It. But I got rid of our Twitch account. Twitch was just useless.
Yeah.
It's just so it just got rid of it. Wasn't worth it. So that's gone.
Sucks for that one guy who used to always watch us on Twitch.
Yeah, but I mean it wasn't always right.
Yeah.
I mean, I found that on Twitch, I don't know. I think more people are, their interests lie elsewhere, other than paranormal and whatever.
Steve is going to be prancing around in his underwear when we hit the 1K. Daniel was asking.
Yeah, celebratory
stream.
Well, of course we could do it. We could do that. Why not? I mean, that's always a possibility.
His boxers and suspenders.
We'll give away some free swag, maybe.
Maybe,
right? We got some. And by the way, if you hit our merch store, if you buy anything, it goes right into this, into StreamYard, into New Visions Radio, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It all goes back into the running of our show.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
100% goes right back in there. And you know what? What's that?
G-string would get the views. Yeah. I don't know if we'd be getting the right kind of views though.
No, that's the thing, right? Well, at least it's not as bad as the G-string and fishnets for you, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, so yeah. And like I said, we're working on we're redistributing the woodlot, the dark woodlot too. So that's going to be like unleashed as soon as we kick the 1K can episode at a time. I do have to add stuff to it though. So I'll be shooting some stuff over the next few weeks.
The woodlot?
Mm-hmm. I have to.
Have they fenced it off yet?
No, it's not fenced off.
Okay.
No. They haven't started anything there. Right. The only thing they did was they plowed the fields, but I think that's just it's a regular thing. They just gave it a good plow. No, seriously. I mean,
think of that as you will.
Yeah. Since COVID, they haven't really plowed it like, deep.
Again, think of it as you will.
They really sunk their teeth into the ground and really gave it a good plow.
Welcome to Late Night with Steve and Alex.
Yeah.
It's too bad I didn't have one of those really those 70s style porn music loaded up on my when
you say that somebody's ears perk up.
I know.
It might pop up in the chat there.
Hey, no problem, man.
You guys talking about me again?
Yeah.
You guys talking about me again? What the hell, man?
We want him to come on.
Yeah. And perhaps in the second half we'll open up the panel if somebody wants to come up and tell us your stories of plowing those fields.
Mm-hmm. Plow those fields.
Plow those fields.
But so shadow people. Let's start with shadow people.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What's your interpretation of shadow people?
So I've heard multiple explanations as far as what it could be realistically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the people are saying that it's at the side, like the peripheral vision, and people that brush that off as saying, well, that's common. People see things, or they think they see things at the side, at the side of their peripheral vision, but it doesn't happen to everybody.
No,
you know what I mean? Like I've never seen a shadow person, nor have I ever seen anything at the side of my peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you explain it for the people who do see it in the peripheral, and or how do you explain it for the people who see it directly in front?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not peripheral, obviously. Mm-hmm. So if someone actually sees a giant shadow figure or dark figure with no features directly in front of them, how do you explain that? Right? So I think there's some legitimacy to it. The problem is because, like you said, you've had some kind of experience with that, and I think I know what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
I've had no experiences like that, so I can't really say definitively what it would look like. You know what I mean? Like what it actually is. I'm only going based on people who have had experiences, who have said, this is what I've experienced. But it also differs from person to person as well, right? That's the other thing. Some people say, oh, I've seen it with a top hat, or I've seen one with absolutely no features, or others have seen a dark figure with some features. You know what I mean? So it's really different from person to person.
Can I be brutally honest? You mentioned top hat.
Yeah.
And again, I honestly think the top hat bit is something that went fucking ape shit wild with Coast to Coast.
Yeah, it's almost like Slender Man.
Yeah, well, that's a creepypasta.
Right, but the point is that a lot of people, after it went sort of quote unquote viral, a lot of people believed so much that they actually started claiming that they've seen it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those scenarios. Same with shadow people. It's one of those scenarios where, okay, is it something that you're actually seeing, or is it something that you really want to see and are making yourself believe you've seen?
Your thoughts are contaminated now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, and that's the thing. When I had probably 2, maybe 3 experiences. I don't know if all 3 of them were considered maybe a shadow person. I don't know, but the one for sure that sticks out in my mind was, like I've mentioned a million times on the show.
Yep.
Going up to to DeForest and doing some work up there one night, and it was awfully foggy. Right, it wasn't extremely foggy, but there was a nice dense fog, and we were up there. It wasn't. It was quite lit because the fog. The fog will do that. It will sort of. It'll absorb
disperse, it'll absorb and disperse sort of light.
Yeah. So, anyways, you get up there, and half the group went to one side of this small, like we're talking about very small pioneer cemetery, just very small. And myself and another person decided to go to the back, and I'm like snapping some pictures. And, I just, snapping pictures and okay, and then it dawned on me. I'm like, okay, what the hell? What's going on here? This is pretty fucked up. How come there's two people in front of me now? And, I'm snapping pictures. There's only one person. I don't get it. Doesn't make sense. Snap another picture. Same thing. So, I call out to who I knew was in front of me. Mike, where's so-and-so? They're at the front of the cemetery. Okay, so who's in between us? Who's with us? And as soon as I said that, this shadow veered off into the very far corner of the Pioneer Cemetery and completely disappeared. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Something's not right here. Okay, wait a sec here. Maybe it was just trickery of the light, because there was a street light not too far down. Maybe when Mike was walking through it, or maybe my shadow was casting in the fog, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, let's recreate this, or try to anyways. So we go back down and walk the same path that we did. Nothing. Couldn't recreate it. Didn't make sense. Even the light casting off the mist, nothing. Didn't match. It was the weirdest friggin' thing ever. Was that a shadow person? Because it wasn't my peripheral. It was right dead straight in front of me.
Yep.
So, I don't know. You tell me, is that a shadow person? Because all I could see was a shadow.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, it was nighttime, obviously, foggy. So it may not have been a shadow person, but just it may look like a shadow person because of the conditions of the night.
Mm-hmm.
However, that being said, I mean, it's one of those things. No one really truly knows what a shadow person is, right? At the end of the day, let's hypothesize that shadow people are legitimate entities
that do exist,
right? That do actually exist.
Yeah.
We don't know what they are, so we give them this title because they look like shadows for the most part. But it could be just. I'm of the mindset. I'm almost trying to rationalize it in my head and saying, maybe it's not a shadow person per se, an entity. Maybe it's just like, kind of, to use the phrase, glitch in the matrix. You know what I mean? You're kind of seeing a glimpse of someone in an alternate universe sort of bleed through. You know what I mean?
Dimensional glitch?
Yeah. It could also be, it could be that. It could be like even a time rift.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're actually seeing someone from a different time
mm-hmm.
in that same area.
Yeah.
It could be a number of things. I mean, the fact is we don't really truly know what they are. So we're assuming it's an entity. Now, I have heard of people say that some of these encounters have been not just sort of like you're just watching something and then it fades away, but they've been interactive.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever it is sort of like interacting with the person in one form or another. So again, it could be anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is.
B is asking, did anything show on your pictures? No, that's what led me to think, well, something's going on. Because when I was taking the picture, there was only myself and the person in front in the pictures.
So you saw this other entity or
with
whatever
my
it
naked
was.
eye.
Right, but was it through the viewfinder of the camera, or just you were looking
in front of me? That's what I'm like. Okay, wait a sec. There's two people in front of me. Why is it that when I'm taking pictures, there's only one person there?
Yeah,
it didn't make sense, right?
And was that quote unquote shadow person the same height as that guy Mike?
See, I can't remember. Other than it wasn't like literally straight on.
Right.
So, and that's why I knew there was two people in front of me. I remember Mike was up front. I didn't know Mike was up front. I thought Mike was right in front of me actually in the beginning.
Right.
And then when I called out, hey Mike, he was in front of the person who was in between us.
Okay.
I'm like, and when he turned around, this thing just it didn't move. Right? It just stood there. And when Mike says, "Oh, he's over there," and I'm like, "Okay, who's in between us here?" you know? And as soon as I said that, all of a sudden it just walked away to the very far, because you've been at the forest.
Yes, I have.
You know, the very far corner where the children are all buried, the Campbell Monument, right there. Yo, Gareth, how are you?
What's going on? Yeah. So Mike didn't see it. It was just you who saw it.
No, because Mike was faced the other way the whole time, right?
But when you called him and he turned around, he didn't see anything.
Nothing. Didn't see anything.
Right. So that's interesting. It's interesting because I was thinking, and I'm trying to rationalize the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was trying to think, because you said it was foggy, so maybe that may have been his own shadow, Mike's own shadow,
and that
being
was
cast.
Thinking.
What's that?
That was my thinking. I was thinking, okay, maybe it was my shadow or his shadow, because there was a street light down at the base of where we came in on the corner of the street up above. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's just the light casting my shadow into the mist. Right. And therefore, after that had gone down, hey, Bud Files, how are you? We went back down and tried to recreate it. So we walked up as we did the first time, exactly, to try to recreate those conditions, and couldn't.
Yeah,
there was nothing. There was nothing in between us. Yep. I mean, I saw my shadow, but on the ground.
Right.
I didn't see it like literally standing right in between us, sort of thing.
And it was funny because once you made, and what lends more intrigue to the whole story was when you said, "Who's in between us?" Referring, you're saying obviously to Mike, and then it just sort of disappeared. It kind of walked away and disappeared.
Exactly.
So that kind of lends something intriguing. Like it's intriguing part of the story. Because if it was a shadow, it wouldn't have moved.
Exactly.
Right? It would have moved with whomever shadow it was.
Absolutely.
Like it was yours or Mike's, but it wouldn't have walked away and disappeared. That's for sure.
No, and that's why I'm like, okay, that was just really weird, because I mean, this doesn't make sense. There's two people here with my naked eye, and when I'm snapping pictures, there's only one person showing up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's crazy.
You gotta head there one day again.
Yeah, it's a little different now. Now that they have torn down the old DeForest home, and they've built that mansion there, and the people who live in that mansion, literally, I'm not kidding you, have like a security camera trained on the cemetery.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. When we've gone up there just to kind of visit it and take some audio samples, it's been a while, but they would literally drive down and just stare at us.
But that's not their property.
It's not their property. No, I know. But
for some, do they care?
I know. Isn't it weird? I know. It's just, it's like they have some shady operation going there.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, it's weird. Hey, Melissa, how are you? You know,
Melissa, you missed a conversation about Steve prancing around on the G-string.
I get her going with the fishnets now.
I know.
But I mean, it's it's the weirdest thing. Like I said, I mean, it's straight on. Like I saw this with my naked eye, straight on. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I literally don't know. I mean, to me, hey, Kristen, how are you? You know,
Kristen, how are you?
Does this equate? Does this give you like a legitimate sort of description or event or whatever as to what a shadow person might be? And again, I use that terminology, Liz, because again, the terminology of a shadow person could literally mean anything.
Well, it's vague.
It's
very vague.
And people have like separated it from, other terminologies when they experience something that might be paranormal or ghostly or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Dinkum, how are you?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's up in the air as to what it actually is. It's a lot of speculation, obviously, and it's we don't know. I mean, I know, Kristen's in chat. Kristen dedicated a whole season to shadow people.
Yeah,
and she did an excellent job on it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, go check out her podcast if you haven't already. But nonetheless, having not experienced it myself, unfortunately, I can't really definitively say what I think it is. I can only speculate.
Yeah.
Right. Based on your experience, hearing other people's experience, and that kind of stuff. Right. So I think there's obviously something to it, whether that's actually, a legit entity or if it's just, for lack of a better term, wishful thinking for the majority of people. Because it's like, I harken back to, the Slender Man.
Yeah.
It was a complete fictitious character that took on a life of its own. You know what I mean? And shadow people, I think, have sort of like the similar background where
it came out of,
yeah. Go ahead.
It came out of a different sort of time than say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the same, shadow people, and again, like it's like a lot of things. You look at a popular radio show back in the in the early 2000s, late 1990s into the 2000s, the 2010s, and so on, called Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And you had all these people calling in, not calling in, but people they'd have on the shows to give you this terminology. And a lot of times, many people had never heard about these things before, ever. Yeah. Orbs, rods, shadow people, all these things came out of the woodwork. And then all of a sudden people ran with them because it's like, oh my God. Like I remember the explosion of the orb topic. Yeah. People are like, oh yeah, I've got tons of orbs in my pictures.
Yeah.
And many did. I mean, if you had a digital point and shoot, especially.
Yeah, that was very common with digital point and shoots. Yeah.
And that's where it literally started. Yep. During Coast to Coast and people starting to use the digital point and shoots back in the day. Right? Well, yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Send us his details, Kristen. Yeah, we'll see if we can get him on the show.
We've had a few people on to talk about shadow people. Jason Offit.
Yeah.
God, we had him back on, didn't we? Because originally we had Justin, Jason to talk about black eyed children,
right? Black-eyed children.
He was one of the first people to fucking write about this.
Yep.
You know, and then I think we had him back on to talk about shadow people, because he had written because he had written a book. He had just written a book on shadow people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, I'm not saying they're not true. Don't get me wrong. I had an experience that makes me wonder.
Right.
But I think the terminology, like a lot of stuff, is loose.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's that's what I mean by it takes a life of its own. Even like the Slender Man thing, but even with shadow people, I'm not trying to say that there haven't been legitimate sightings.
Mm.
What I'm saying is that when something like that becomes mainstream, popularized by shows like Coast to Coast or publications that, you know, at the time were it, for lack of a better term, other people for some reason tend to go on the bandwagon and say, oh yeah, I saw a shadow person. Now you get to a point where you got to kind of weed through all of the crap, again, for lack of a better term, to try to find the diamond in the rough and actually find the legitimate cases. Because like anything else in this field, in the paranormal field, ufology, there's a lot of people who are just doing it for their 5 minutes, fame on the spotlight. So they're saying whatever they want to say saying, oh yeah, I've experienced this, I've experienced that, just to be part of that whole conversation. When in reality, they didn't see or experience anything. And that muddies the water, because now it becomes even increasingly difficult to try to find legitimate cases of shadow people, UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, and anything else.
Interesting, Mars. Very interesting.
What did she say? Hold on. I want to read her comment.
When I woke up in the morning, I see a shadow person over my right shoulder, so much to the point I thought it was my husband trying to wake me up. I even spoke to it, but no results. I think it's my brother who passed away. I'm not scared or anything. And you know what? I would never expect you to be as scared, Mars, because, I think you're drawn to this, just like us all, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting, I mean, people have said that, shadow people, hey, Cal, good morning. How are you? In the UK, obviously it's, what is it? It's like, holy shit. Cause and that's another thing. I woke up this morning, because I had to go into work, and I set my alarm for 6. I get up and go downstairs, and I look at the clock in the kitchen. And it says 5:26.
I know we changed our time today.
I totally forgot about that. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I'm like, what the hell did I get up so early for?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know what time is it in the UK now, because I don't know if
1:35. I think.
Is it 1:35?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Melissa says a good point. Yes, there's too many that ruin the paranormal. But even if we had proof, I still think people who don't believe in the paranormal. But yeah, it's you okay. Since Melissa went down that road, I'll go one step.
Well, you're not
further.
afraid to. It's not like we haven't done this before.
No, exactly. You could have what you think is the most irrefutable proof of the paranormal, or even ufology, or what have you, in this field, in the whole big paranormal umbrella. It doesn't matter, because what people, like, other people will just simply brush it off as, oh, it's, especially nowadays, oh, it's CGI, or it's faked, or this and that. You're going to have a hard time proving people that what you have is legitimate, if in fact it is legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. this is why if you're into this sort of field, the paranormal or what have you, you need to be doing it for yourself, not for others. Because at the end of the day, you're just not going to convince someone who just doesn't want to believe. It doesn't matter. It's like, to bring this up, it's like religion.
Yep.
Or even politics. You may firmly believe in any given religion and make your points. And if someone who's not a believer, it doesn't matter what points you make, they will not believe. Exactly. Or vice versa for that matter. I'm more of an atheist myself, or more agnostic rather. I can make my case for why it doesn't matter. I could talk to someone who's very religious. It's not going to change their mind. It just won't.
But at the same time, Alex, do you think that probably acts as a possible filter as to why you don't think you've had an experience, or you don't have many experiences?
Me being agnostic?
Yeah.
I wasn't always agnostic.
No, but I mean, you were other things close to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was never truly religious.
No,
even as a child, I wasn't truly religious.
But do you think that when people
I don't think so. No, because my mindset is I'm open to any possibility, right? And it's not that I haven't had experiences in my life. I have had experiences in my life. Like my dad passed away. I had that experience. I almost had an out of body experience when I was in my early 20s. So it's not like I've gone through my life without ever experiencing anything that would be deemed paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
However, it happens so infrequently.
Yeah.
That, when I hear people say, okay, let's go to this place because it's haunted. It's very, very, very haunted. And a lot of things happen a lot of the time. And, you're going to go there and chances are you're going to experience something. No. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's like, okay, I go and nothing usually happens. You know what I mean? And you and I both know, I mean, you've been doing this long enough to know that when you go to a supposed haunted location, even if it's extremely haunted, chances are you're going to need to go multiple times before you even capture anything. If anything.
Well, yeah, to truly understand the events that are supposedly happening in a location, you can't simply go in there once or twice.
No, you can't.
And truly, because I mean,
you'd be extremely lucky if you go there one day and something happens on that same day.
Yeah,
you'd be very, very lucky.
I mean, if you do, then great. It's a stepping stone, and and that's exactly what it is. It's a stepping stone to better understanding. But the thing is, you don't know anything because these, if it's a home, for instance, and they have a lot of shit going on, and they're kind of looking, can you just tell me what the hell's going on? You flat out say, but I can't tell you with just one visitation. We have to, if in many cases, visit several times.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that you wouldn't be able to explain a lot of the stuff that they're experiencing that's explainable the first time going in there.
Yeah. Especially if it's something mundane that's causing it instead of paranormal.
Something environmental or whatever, like explainable, rationally explaining things. And that's what people need to do because they don't do that.
Yeah.
They go in there and they have, they have an ulterior motive. It's like, ooh, we can make a lot of money off this place. People are greedy.
Yes, they are.
And it happens all the time still.
And that's the sad thing about it. And this is why it's so difficult to advance in this field.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why it's so difficult to advance in this field, because you have way too many people who outright lie just to get, again, to make money. And even if it's not a lie, they exaggerate it to death. It could be something very simple, but they make it into something that's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, demon possession or demon infestation, when it's just the Casper the Friendly Ghost kind of deal. You know what I mean? But the point is that you have so many of these charlatans out there that you're never going to... let me backtrack a little. You have so many charlatans who have absolutely no interest in advancing the field, because it doesn't serve them any purpose by doing so. You know what I mean? So because of that, it hinders the people who are in this field trying to be legitimate, or as legitimate as possible. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's why we haven't reached the 1K mark yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we need to exaggerate.
We need to exaggerate. Exactly. We need to make it really, really extremely exciting.
Proof of shadow people. See it here. See shadow person in action.
Yeah. I'll have like a cardboard cutout behind me, just going back and forth, Oh no. Here we go. You guys have asked for it. There's
you guys want to see a shadow person? God damn it, why did you just ask?
So for all you new listeners to the show, back in the day when we were doing this on live stream, this is going back many years, we didn't actually do a live feed like you see here on YouTube. But what Steve would do is that he would have his camera trained on Frankie holding up different signs, like whatever, like something funny, and that's what people would see.
Alex is gone for a burrito.
There you go, like something. So Frankie was very popular back in the day during the live stream days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the only platform that was free, and back then, that we could just get the audio file and just upload.
And YouTube wasn't even a thing back then, was it?
Yeah, YouTube was a thing. It wasn't as I mean, you couldn't. I see. I don't know.
It wasn't as popular as it is today. Put it that way.
It was always popular. Just I don't think because we were audio only.
Yeah,
it didn't seem viable. And then literally with live stream, you can record and just
Well, and plus we didn't have the tools we have today. Like StreamYard wasn't available back then.
Well, that too. I mean, and
OBS wasn't available, I don't think, back then, to be honest with you. So I mean, it was one of those things. It's like it was very tricky to do it.
Yeah. So I mean, but shadow people are like a lot of things in the paranormal of days gone by are, they're intriguing, but I mean, I can't say I can't dismiss it. I did experience, one incident for sure. There was two other events that happened, and one of them was at the Cherry Hill House. In fact, pegged as one of Mississauga's, most haunted places. We had a few chances.
I mean, aside from the Fusion House that Richard investigated.
Yeah. I try. You know what? I would have rather have investigated the Fusion House, to be honest. I mean,
I've driven by it.
Yeah, I've drive by it all the time. But I mean, I love the Cherry Hill House. It just, I don't know. I didn't really experience too much. And not to say, look, we did the one investigation with Global covering it, Global News, and it kind of hampered things.
Right.
So it wasn't really a serious investigation. So you couldn't really seriously investigate. And if you ever see the Global coverage of it, you could see why.
Yeah.
they're just looking for something to present for the newscast. So
yeah,
it's
too bad. The Guild Inn kind of got renovated. You ever heard of the Guild?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was in Scarborough. Again, Richard's team investigated that many years ago. So the way it was, so you had the original building that was built in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, and I haven't really looked into this in a long time, so a lot of World War II POWs were housed there, right? But then at some point, they changed it into like a hotel, and they put an addition to the building, multi-level addition, which is part of the hotel part. And the old building was sort of like where the reception area would be and the dining hall would be. And then you go to the new section, which is the actual rooms that you would rent.
Yeah.
And then it closed down for many years.
Yeah.
And someone had told me about this place and saying it was haunted, but we didn't have access to the building itself because it was all boarded up.
Yeah.
But we would go there and just sort of like hang around outside at nighttime and just sort of see if anything happened. And one night we went there, and each balcony on the new section of the building, or newer section of the building, had metal railings, right? And we were on one side, let's say for the sake of the argument, the north side of the building, and we would hear like a clanging noise, like someone was hitting like a metal pipe against the railing.
Yeah.
But from the opposite side, on the south side.
Yeah.
So we would go around the building to the south side, and then we would hear the knocking on the north side. Right? So like,
yeah,
fuck, something's going on over here. We don't know what it is, and we can't get into the buildings to actually go room to room and try to see if we can get anything. But
yeah,
I remember Richard telling the story of how he investigated it, and he had I think a writer from the Star that went there to write about it, and him and the photographer were there, and I think by the end of it, they were scared shitless and they didn't want to go back in.
Really?
Yeah, apparently, if I remember the story correctly from what Richard told me. But yeah, it was an interesting place. But then they ended up actually renovating the whole grounds. They got rid of the extension part,
yeah,
which was the rooms. They kept the original building and renovated the original building, and now it's like some kind of an event center where people can go and have weddings, pictures in the grounds, because the grounds had some picturesque, I don't know, columns and old whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
If you look it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, ever since they tore down that new section, obviously, and then it's open now to the public. We can't go there and investigate anything because it's open to the public, and it's probably heavily guarded at night.
Fuck. Yeah, there's a lot of places like that, right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places that we've done and I've totally forgotten about it. It's like, wow, holy shit. Like we did oh boy. Oh, there was the Morningstar Mill, and the Q House. And we only sparsely investigated it. We didn't really have the chance to like have a full investigation sort of thing. There was the Cawthra House. The Cawthra House was pretty intriguing. I would like to go back there, but I don't know if we'd be able to get back in. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I think I went there once. I was with what's his name now? The guy who had that paranormal group PIST. Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Gary was. Well, you were there, weren't you?
I was there
once. Yeah. I think you were there the night we were there.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure you might have been there.
Yeah.
And I think that was after the gathering, wasn't it?
I think it was after the gathering, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you were there the same night we were there. Good question, B. I wonder if renovators of these buildings ever experience anything. You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people have come forward that have said, "Oh yeah, like I remember, we investigated a whatchamacallit, we investigated the old Hiram Walker Ranch and the guest house there. Excuse me, and Terry.
Oh my God, Terry, Miss Frankie.
Terry, Mrs. Frankie. There he is, buddy. There's Frankie.
Frankie showed up just before you came on.
There he is. He must have heard the word Frankie because
oh my God, I think his ears are burning. We showed Frankie to everybody before you came on, so yeah, we were talking about back in the live stream days.
Yeah. So we were doing the old Hiram Walker Ranch and doing the guest house, and in fact. There was painters in there one time, and one of the painters was up on the ladder painting, and then all of a sudden, he had this feeling that something was like literally choking him to death.
Yeah,
he fell off the ladder and he ran out of the house, wouldn't go back in. So I'm almost certain there's a lot of these people that come forward and have said stuff.
Yeah, it also depends on the level of activity at the location as well, too, right?
Well, that, or is this person willing enough to, I don't want them to think I'm fucking crazy here,
Yeah, that's the other thing, too.
I'm making a lot of money here, and I don't want to lose that fucking money.
Exactly.
I don't want them to go contract somebody else now. But yeah, I mean, I look at it and say, hey, watch the movie Session 9. You want to get an idea of people who are, renovating, if you will, and experience some really weird, fucked up shit. That movie will fuck. I'm telling you. You ever seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
Ah, dude, you need to see it. They go in it's shot in the old Danvers mental institution just outside of Danvers, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. And wow, what a cool flick. And it is fucking creepy as hell, but it gives you that kind of scope and feeling, where this rental crew goes in there, repurpose whatever. They got to clean it up. Right? So they bring in all their equipment, and all of a sudden, people start fucking wandering through this fucking old abandoned fucking mental psych ward place, and they start discovering all these little secrets, right? And you're like, Jesus, Murphy, like, are these guys really fucking experiencing this? Or are they fucking hallucinating? Is the shit like the asbestos or whatever going through their fucking head, making them hallucinate?
Yeah.
It's such a fucked up movie. It's so good. It is. No, dude, I think you'd really like it.
Where's it available on?
I don't know. I don't know if I do a search. Do you got a Fire Stick?
No, I don't.
Oh, so I don't know. On a Fire Stick, you could probably just search where it's available. What platform?
I'm gonna check the usual suspects.
Yeah, B. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is a fucking creepy movie, man. It's really cool. I love Brad Anderson flicks. So
not on Prime.
No, I don't think it was on Prime. I don't. I think did I? I don't. I think it was just recently released on Blu-ray. So I gotta get it on Blu-ray because I fucking love that movie. It's just so creepy. So creepy.
Not on Netflix either. I'm checking Tubi now. Just in the odd chance that it might be there.
Could be. I don't know. I mean, I still have an old DVD of it. Like I said, I would like to upgrade to a Blu-ray. It was just released on Blu-ray in my old house. I used to hear a baby crying, generally from upstairs, off of the bath. Somehow filled helium balloon. Kind of sounds like the changeling. That's what it sounds like, man. Outside the baby crying, but the bath, and he'd always hear the banging of the fucking bathtub. Boom, 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 and there would be this ball that would come down the stairs by itself. And then if the ball didn't come down, this old decrepit wheelchair would fucking come racing down. Wow. In about a 10-year period. That would be interesting, Thomas. Definitely. I can't say I've ever lived except for here, this place. And you can't see Melissa likes to call it the haunted box. But that box has got some serious.
I think Melissa's got a haunted box.
Correct me
if I'm wrong, Melissa.
But I don't think I've ever like when I lived at home with my parents years ago. The house that we were in, I don't think it was haunted. Although I did tell you something that happened in last week's show.
Did you?
Yeah. Remember I told you I woke up. I think box your ears. I did tell you about the story when I think I was about 13 or 14 years old. I woke up. I woke up in the middle of the night. I used to always have my door closed, and I woke up. I had to go to the washroom. Put my glasses on, turn my nightlight on, and I got up, opened the door, and all of a sudden I saw this bloody arm just reaching the wall outside and feeling in the darkness. And I saw it and I'm like, holy fuck, slam my door shut. And I'm like going, dad, and nobody's answering. So automatically I thought, oh fuck, man, there's somebody in the house and they killed my parents.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck, what do I do? So I said, oh, fuck it. I worked up enough nerve. I opened the door and I fucking ran to my parents' room. They're fast asleep. I'm like waking my dad. Dad, there's somebody in the fucking house. There's somebody in the house. Just went downstairs, right? And, I had him check every nook and cranny in the house. And of course, there was nobody in there. So, I mean, what did I see? Was it just a figment of my imagination, or... Man, it was pretty vivid because I could remember seeing the hairs on the arm and the blood. I mean, that's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
That's really fucked up.
It could have been like a vivid dream or something that
carrying over into the
that kind of bled to your waking consciousness.
Yeah, that's fuck. That's crazy.
That's a possibility, anyway.
That is. That's crazy. Absolutely.
Unless. Were your parents the original owners of the house, or was it bought?
It was a townhome, and no, they were just renting it at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
It could have been something that happened prior.
Well, remember I told you, I said years later, I did some research on that place and found out that because those townhomes, they had a hallway that connected them all and a basement hallway. And the joint area where the buildings all met underneath had a laundry room.
Right.
And years before that had happened, somebody had been murdered in that very area.
Right.
So I'm like, could it possibly be linked to that? I mean, it's the same area, same plot of land. I mean, the possibility's there, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, we got to take a short break here for the New Visions Radio Network. We'll be right back. We're going to open up. We'll open up the panel. If anybody wants to come on the panel and let us know anything, any of their stories, or whatever else. Yeah. So all that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching New Visions Radio Network here on New Visions Nocturnal Frequency Radio on the New Visions Radio Network. And of course, simulcasting here on the YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. If I can get this thing to work. It doesn't want to work, man. It doesn't want to work.
Keep trying.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I'm Richard Palmisano, the founder of the Searcher Group. It's a paranormal company, the oldest in Canada. I founded it in 1979, which not only makes me old, but makes me doing paranormal research and field work for just under 45 years now. I am also an author, researcher, and lecturer on the paranormal. I've written 6 books now. And I really enjoy coming on with Steve and Alex on Nocturnal Frequency Radio, as well as listening to the shows, because there's a lot of interesting guests there. I like it, looking at this stuff, because it opens your mind to other options and other alternative thoughts. And, there's always time to learn new things. So I hope you join us and come and see Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Thank you.
So let me ask you, what makes for good radio?
My 5 favorite songs all day long.
Play it again.
No.
As many commercials as physically possible.
What? No, why would that be good?
Great music, great talk shows, no commercials.
Precisely. New Visions Radio gives you no commercials, no nonsense, just the best new music and the best talk all day long, 24/7, 365. NewVisions.radio.com.
Hey guys, Kristen here, host of the Paranorm Girl podcast, a bingeable exploration and deep dive education about the paranormal for the skeptical believer. Some of my past season topics have included shadow people, Mandela effect, demons, and UFOs. Currently, I am tackling Bigfoot. I have been sharing this journey with my audience since early 2021, and I have learned a lot these last few years. It's truly a mysterious world out there beyond our perceptions, and reality is just not what it seems. I have also, since the start, met some awesome folks like Alex and Steve, and I've really enjoyed watching and learning from them and also joining them on their show. Their guests are always outstanding, their listeners are just the coolest, and these hosts are some of my favorite people. I recommend their show to anyone looking for an intelligent and fun conversation about the paranormal amongst friends. So join me on my investigation, join Steve and Alex on theirs, and enjoy. Now back to the show. You are watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
And that you are. Unless you're on New Visions Radio Network, you're listening to us, and thank you for listening to us there. I must say, it's been, God, I mean, when did we come over to the New Vision? What was it, 2015?
It's been years.
I think it was 2015.
Exactly, yeah.
It's been 8 years. It's 9 years.
It's the platform we've been on the longest, I think.
9 years. Well, no. It's getting close to it, though. I mean, 9 years.
If you think about it, it is the longest.
Well, you figure
we've been on the air for 16 years.
We went up.
That means the remaining.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
7.
You're right. It is.
Yeah,
it is the longest. We've done the most.
Because we did 1 year with live stream, and then the rest were blocked.
I thought it was 2 years. Wasn't it 2 years?
It might have been 2 years. I don't know. I know we did 1 year for sure.
Terry, help us out here if you're still in chat. How many years were we on live stream? He seems to know.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the good old days though on Block Talk, in the sense of, because you had that call-in number.
Yeah, I mean, it was great and everything, but then when they started charging, it just became a shit show.
Yeah.
And then you look at us now. I mean, at least with Blog Talk, you still have a dedicated line, but I don't think it'd be the same, because you got to remember, we were broadcasting 11 to 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot more fucking...
a lot more interesting people.
Interesting people calling into the show. And we did.
Oh, we got a lot of them.
We got a shitload of people.
Yep.
That called into the show that were... And I'm still going through the archives to find some more. It's really tough. There's just so many of them.
Oh, we got this golden oldie.
Okay, I have recordings of evil angels going in my purse, unzipping it and everything, and snorting and growling and all. And I recorded tapes when I didn't understand. Okay, when I didn't understand the strange things that was going on in my house.
Yeah.
Is that golden oldie?
I really wish I could find the Leprechaun one.
Oh yeah.
I really that tops them all, man. It really does.
Leprechaun. The good times.
Oh man, I still I can still hear us laughing our asses off.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, hey, somebody coming out talking about leprechauns, you're gonna kind of laugh.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, hold on.
We were paranormal before paranormal was cool. Paranormal pandemic, paranormal realm, paranormal team, paranormal paralysis. Yeah. Paranormal investigators, paranormal unity, paranormal paranormal. Chris and I were paranormal before paranormal was cool. We were paranormal before.
You know,
that was too much.
Coloring. Hello.
I am Joey Jackson.
Okay, hi Joey, how are you?
I took a shit.
Get coloring.
Oh, this is the kind of calls that we used to get.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. You can't fucking beat it. I mean, let's see. Hold on a sec here. Hold on. What's this one here? Okay, it just disappeared. Come on, where'd you go?
Got another one lined up? Or
Yeah,
trying to get another one lined up?
I had it, and then it just disappeared on me. I got so many of them here. It's just, here we go. What's this one here? I don't know what this one is.
487, you're live on Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
Hey, how you guys doing today? My name is Mike. I'm from Macon.
Yeah.
Just a prank caller. Just saying it. It's a prank caller. I feel you. What?
Okay. What did you have to say?
I just wanted to talk about apparitions I've been seeing in my house, but since you guys want to be fucking assholes about it.
Okay, see you later. 487, you're live on Nocturnal Frequency.
And this one here.
650.
Yes, my name is Bill, and I just wanted to warn you guys about this Insights with Michael. He likes to rape children, and you guys should stay away from him, okay?
Okay.
Up on lines,
Yeah. It's a fucking shit you used to have to fucking call, eh? Go through. Yeah. Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to try loading something up. Hold on.
Okay, you got it? Get it?
I think so. Hang on. I haven't done this in a while, so share a screen.
Share screen?
Let's see.
It's been a while.
The fuck? Where is it? Here we go.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, here we go. Which one's this one?
Oh, you'll see.
Groundbreaking evidence. And there goes the tree. Fat guy knocks over a tree. That's the sign. Extra, extra.